About Nnamdi Kanu, you said Nnamdi Kanu is a political detainee and that he should be released in the spirit of unity and reconciliation. Even when you know that since the time of President Buhari has been saying this matter is in court. Let the judges, let the courts decide.
Well, you know, I know Kanu has been there for so long. He's been to several courts on several occasions. They can't even agree on what to do. And between me and you, Dr. Abati, you're a lawyer. Justice delayed is justice denied. This man has been taken to various courts. They don't even know which charges to give him anymore. This man was abducted out of this country. The manner of abduction was in itself illegal. It's a shame. It's a shame that this country will be involved in a thing like that. But they did it. Okay, now you took that gentleman to court, and he's been there for years. If you want to take him through justice, dispense justice with him, and then that's it. If you're going to jail him, jail him. If you're not going to jail him, let him go. What's the point of just keeping somebody there? And all of us, Nigerians, should be ashamed that we are being linked to this. In the turn, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame that this is what we've turned this country to be. A Nigerian, a citizen, and you treat him like this in his own country? It's a shame. All progressive Nigerians should stand up and say this should stop. This shenanigans should stop. How long should we continue with this? If this man has committed any offense, sentence him. That's it. But if he hasn't, let him go. What is happening is wrong. It's wrong. To any right-thinking person, it is wrong. And Afenifere will continue to fight for whoever in such a position. That is what we are known for. We'll fight against any injustice from wherever it is coming from. We'll fight against it. And Nnamdi Kanu is just there. We've been doing this. We've been doing this for years. We know it's a template. I don't want to start repeating over and over what we do. A fellow of mine, one of my friends came on the television and talked about Shugaba to you. I was personally involved. I was the special advisor to Lagos State Governor then when this matter happened. And I was the person going around all over putting things together for Shugaba before it was finally released. He was not a member of our party. No. But look, we won't let this happen. And exactly what is happening now. We stood up for Dele. We stood up for him. Dele is Ajanoku kọjá olórí nǹkan fìrí tó bá rí ni kó sọ. That's Dele Faru to me. Ajanoku kọjá olórí nǹkan fìrí tó bá rí ni kó sọ. Whether Dele Faru to me is in Afenifere or any party, anywhere it could be in Nigeria, is a force to be reckoned with. He's made it. There's not anybody can do about it. But we are lucky, we are grateful that he's one of us. And we will stand with him through thick and thin. You haven't seen anything. We will stand by him. We stand for anybody that runs. You want to run foul them, run short them, then we say no. We won't accept that. That's it. So Nnamdi Kanu, we stand by him. He must be released. He must be released. Okay. And we don't want to start. Oh, for Christ's sake. Stop all this, for Christ's sake. One is getting it. Please, Dr. Abati, go on. Okay,
I wanted to ask you, on the question of state police, you have sent proposals to the National Assembly.
Yes.
Have you also made attempts to approach President Tinubu or to send a formal opinion to him on the question of Nnamdi Kanu?
No, we didn't go that far. But our position on it is known. We didn't go that far. Okay. We didn't go as much as writing letters. No, we didn't.
Okay, because I just assume that it's not every communique that is published that the president will get a chance to read. Maybe you need that follow-up effort.
If he doesn't read anything about Nnamdi Kanu, then he must find something good to read.
Anyway.
If he didn't read it and his people around him won't talk to him about it, I don't know what job they are doing.
Anyway, Your Honor, let's talk about this issue of Sharia in the Western region. Now, there are persons in some of the states that are saying, well, Sharia has been in Yoruba land since the 14th century. And in any case, it's a personal orthodoxy. It's not something that is compulsory for everybody. It's not a legal orthodoxy. So if there are some people who say, well, we want to be governed by the Sharia orthodoxy, shouldn't they be allowed? They have the freedom of choice, freedom of faith. But most Yoruba groups, a number of groups are now saying, no, there must be no Sharia in the southwest of Nigeria. I said, I have discussed this. If not, what's your opinion?
Dr. Abati, has anybody in Southwest requested for Sharia? Because that's where to start.
Well, the story
This
is
is
in
my
the
house.
The story is in the papers.
then you-
That some Islamic groups
No.
in the Southwest want the Sharia.
Requested for Sharia?
The story is in the papers.
Requested for Sharia. Look, some groups, notable groups in Southwest requested for Sharia.
Yes.
Now look,
That's why some other groups are
we all
saying
know what
that.
is happening, Dr. Abati. Dr. Abati. Dr. Abati. We know what is happening, and we are ready for it. We know 27 to 2027 is at the corner, and we know what's happening, and we're ready for it. Afenifere is 72 years old. There's no political organization that is as old as Afenifere in this country. So we understand the terrain. We know the terrain. We know the terrain. When you start doing these things, we know what you want to do, and we get ready for you. We're not talking about Sharia. We're talking about 2027. We know it. You cannot destabilize our home under one certain pretext and want us to stand back and watch you doing it. We will not allow it. If you intend to destabilize our home, we say, no, you can't do it. You can't come to another man's home and tell him how to worship. You cannot go to another. I mean, look, there's Akwa Ibom. They do Christmas carol every year. You see them, the governors, everybody stands singing. And then you go to that place and you want to say, you want to do Sharia. And you want to undo. You say, they say, yes, they can do. No. They won't try. Nobody will allow it. This is our home. And this is what we do here. We are the most understanding tribe in nation. I would say nation, Nigeria, yes. We religious tolerance is everybody pride out for it. And we are not going to let somebody derive off of that. We know what is happening in other parts of the country because of religion. We are not that in this part of the country. And we are not going to allow anybody to introduce it to us. We will not. It's as simple as that.
The Fulani herdsmen, there's a lot of heavy intelligence on what they do. Entire Southwest, entire Nigeria have been surveyed.
So this is quite embarrassing if we agree that these herdsmen have high intelligence. Should it be bigger than what our security
Let me be frank with you.
have?
I've told you, it's their criminal gang. They've conducted so. Do you even know that some of them, they hold phone, they communicate with them, they have a network? They communicate as far back as to High and Mighty. Suffice to say, during the time of Goodluck Jonathan, he apparently came publicly that there are some people who are headsmen, Fulani headsmen in this cabinet. What happened as at that time? Every successive government, they give them preeminence. For instance, the Fida headsmen, they have their association are very strong. In fact, they have a political heavyweight in determining what will happen. They are, they are revered. I am saying now that for the time they've been killing, maiming, had there been any prosecution? Had any of them gone to incarceration? Has any of them been jailed? In fact, the army defense came that many a time when they get some of those, when they get some of those people, profile them. By the time they receive one, because the army itself cannot just come and prosecute. They are meant to interface. I'm saying the highest people that are to defend the territorial integrity of the nation. They also do not have the power to prosecute. What they can do is to profile and refer to the case for proper adjudication in customary court. But because I told you, it's a racketeering of criminal gang. And the High and Mighty also, who is not interested in making money. This is transactional. This is a money-making machine. So which means almost the High and Mighty. Otherwise, how has the trade been sustained up till now that there's no single prosecution?
Okay, with your submission now, would you agree that the government has consistently failed the Nigerian people?
There's no gainsaying. The failure is imminent. Most of the security we are talking about, they are at the surface level. The interior is not well protected. The territorial integrity is heavily compromised. That's why we have the armed forces overrun now. The question now is this. What is the do? Security interface ought to occur about 4 levels. That's why the quest for us to have a regional police, a state police, a community police become evident by the compromises we are talking about. In any town, the village surveillance people that go, the vigilantes that are there. In fact, in most of our town too, we also organize the hunters to come and start trying to defend. It's happening in our own area, which is Ijebu. So what we're saying is this: the chain of command is broken. There's complicity in the gang. It's a criminal gang. You'll be surprised that how come the community leader in the place is saying he wrote. If he has time to write to the governor to intimate the governor, does it mean that after hearing the information he folded his arms? Whereas the local vigilantes are there, there's a police station there, the army formation there. That tells you there's a compromise. When issue comes that people begin to raise issue in order to claim some level of importance, to be able to claim some level of importance, to be able to say, I contributed, I tried my best. But the best is not enough because people's lives were involved.
This is a governor who was Speaker of the House of Assembly since 2015 up until he became governor in 2023. One would have thought that he should understand the system better, being a lawmaker himself. So it's not about not having access to the House, not having access to the Assembly. You just said that a lot of people will come out to make, stories around the issue that has happened just to say that they've made their voice heard. But that is not enough to exonerate the governor.
Let's be frank. I told you the complicity is throughout the value chain. Everybody is complicit until they proved otherwise.
Even at that, the governor is the #1 citizen of that state.
I said everybody in the value chain. If you say value chain, it means the chief security officer, there's a complicity in the unit. The commissioner in charge of security, there's a complicity. Even the entire security interfaces. Because here we say crocodile fight, clinical fight, there's complicity. For instance, if you don't lower the edge, can serpent bite? No. Until we begin to probe, we begin to see who actually lowered the edge.
So how does this probe happen when the whole system feels like it's been infiltrated?
Let me be frank with you.
How do we move on from here?
Most of the probe, they are surface probe. You will agree with me, even some of the politicians you are saying, they are only politicians in the glass house. How many of them visit the interior? Is it not stomach infection? Some of them use the step of stomach infection to be there. I know some of them don't even go to their community. Talk less of the village. At least, as a community leader, I'm very close to how police. When they come, they only go to the town hall. How many of them visit the village?
Okay, we need to wrap up on this story and move to the next. So, what's your thoughts on the deputy governor's visit and, of course, our statement that she's giving the security agencies 24 hours to fish out the suspects? It's almost 24 hours already.
It's purely political. After all, they now place ransom to find the killer. Is it medicine after death? Which means the lowering of the edge is throughout the entire value chain.
So who protects an average Nigerian? How does
there
a Nigerian...
Let me be frank with you. Our life is in the hand of God. Let's be frank. How come the non-state actor carries sophisticated gun and yet people are not licensed to carry gun? Even the security interfaces they are talking about, which is police, they have obsolete equipment. How do you explain that? So what we're saying is this: until people come together in unity to discover the hole within the community. I told you the same thing. We had to carry out investigation in my own community to understand how did they find their way in. Where is the weak link? We now discover some people compromise. And despite being compromised, we still have to conduct investigation further to see the extent, because you can't just, until you have a proof of evidence, you can't arrest.
Of course. Thank you very much for that submission. Very sad incident here. And we can just only hope that the perpetrators of this evil are being caught. And we can only just pray for the souls of the departed to find eternal